What is up, YouTube? So I want to give an update. I'm going to try to get back into doing weekly updates now that the weather is getting a little bit nicer out and I'm able to get out and mow. I am going to try to do maybe a little bit of a montage of mowing because frankly it's a little bit chilly out and I'm not going to do a lot of talking. Got my coat on, but still representing. So another shout out to Picture Perfect Lawn Maintenance and RVA Lawn Love, who sent me this shirt during his last giveaway. I believe that was last year sometime. So I still occasionally wear the shirt. Have to keep sniffling. It's so cold out that my nose is starting to run a little bit. So I was going to do a little bit of a montage, and I'm going to kind of talk about the soil test. It's the beginning of the year. I'm getting ready to start putting down some fertilizer, but the important thing is always knowing how much fertilizer you need to put down, right? So this year, instead of doing the soil savvy that I have done in the past, I'm going to try my hand at the Waypoint Analytical soil test. So kind of covering up because I have my address and everything. I got to protect my information. But so across the top you put your name, address, phone number, over here field ID or crop ID, and an email address they can send back to you. So this is pretty much what the form is. So they have different ones. They'll fill in a bunch of this, but they have different tests. S1M, S2M, S3M. They recommend doing the S3M if you're more on the eastern side of the United States, which I was going to do anyway because it gives me a little bit more of the stuff that I need. You circle the grass types, and all I've got is tall fescue, so I'm circling that, doing the S3M. I've got two papers, so one is going to be for the front lawn, one for the back lawn. I've got them in two separate bags. Had a little bit more in the front, but I had a bigger front yard, so thinking that should be enough. So I'm going to get these packaged up, sent off, and so I'll do another video to give these soil results. I'm kind of more interested about the backyard, see what that's going to look like, because if you remember previous videos, that is where I put in that alkaline fill dirt. So I kind of want to see what's going on back there. I have some spots where the grass just isn't growing very much. There's a lot of spots where things are normal, but there's other spots that the grass just really isn't growing that much. It is there, but when I go to mow it, my normal 3.5, 4 inch just doesn't cut anything. So I don't know if maybe I need to hit a little more phosphorus and other fertilizers, try to get things going on it, or if there's something else going on. So front yard, everything else looks good, so I'm pretty sure that the soil test is going to come back good on that. So with that, I'm going to do a little bit of montage. But with all this coronavirus, I don't know about y'all, but look at that. I normally get it cut down to about that. Things are getting crazy. I needed a haircut when the coronavirus shutdown started here in Ohio. They started shutting down a few non-essentials, and then they announced that the salons, hairstylists, nail salons, all that stuff, they're all getting shut down. So I don't know what else I'm going to do until they open back up. I'm still got about another 3-4 weeks before then. So all right, that was terrible idea. So I got a hat on now, so I'm gonna go mow. Alright, so got everything mowed. I ran out of daylight by the time I got to the backyard, so I was kind of having to mow in the dark, which kind of sucked, but I think I got it all. Got everything blown down. So we'll give you a end result, what we got here. So it looks pretty good. On the side over here, all that looks pretty good. So all in all, everything's still looking pretty good. Let's take a quick look at the backyard. Alright, so here's the backyard. So what I've kind of noticed with the backyard here, and now it's a little bit lighter and I'm not fighting daylight. So when I mow, I'm actually having to drop the height of cutout here down 1 notch, so it's about, I don't know, 3 1/4, 3.5 inches. Yeah, I've got some of that going on. So I'll have to take care of that in the fall, put down some pre-emergent, get rid of it. This area comes in really nice and thick, as you can see through there. Lava through here comes in nice and thick. Some of the other spots you can see is a little bit darker. But I'm still fighting this area through here. And a little bit up through here. As you can see, there's clover that has moved in and a bunch of stuff's kind of ran in. So some thin spots up through here. This whole area. This is all where that fill dirt was predominantly filled in a little bit heavier to level things out. The grass, as you see here, it's shorter, and even though I've been mowing for the past year, these blades have not been cut. They're still pointed. So even though I'm mowing through here, it has never gotten tall enough for me to actually mow it. And this has all been in here for a while, so in theory, it should be tall enough to mow. It should have grown, but it's not. So that's part of my concern with the soil sample. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to rectify that, because honestly, this area, even though it's kind of started to fill in, does not look good. So while we're talking kind of soil test too, I did kind of want to mention what I used to pull my soil plugs. This is a Proplugger that I got from Lazy Lawn's Movember giveaway. It's actually kind of a really sturdy and kind of cool tool. Comes with different rings, so you can go different depth. You just take one off, slide it on there, and it changes your depth. So currently, without any, it's set to go about 6 inches. You can put one on that goes like 4 inches. No one goes now 2 inches, I believe. Popped it in there, put it in there, twist the Proplugger around. It's supposed to pull out a plug. However, in my case, when you have a very clay-like soil, it says to put it, try to get your soil plugs while the ground is still a little bit wet. Clay and water and trying to pull stuff out of a plugger like that don't go so well. So once I started pulling these plugs, I had to try to use like a screwdriver or something to try to pry these plugs out to get to them. So they just didn't fall out my hand. I couldn't bang on the Proplugger to get anything to come out. So I had to kind of pry around with it to get them out. Still worked. It gave me a nice 6-inch soil sample, so I can kind of get some of the soil from 6 inches down and get that in my soil sample. The only thing I can think of is maybe if they have like an actual soil plugger, like if it was cut here, where then you can get a hold of it and pop it out that way, would be kind of cool. Like an actual soil probe. I know that's typically that is not what that is meant for. It's meant more for like if you're going to plant bulbs or something in like a mulch bed or something, it would pull those plugs out a lot nicer. But figured it was free, I got it. I'd figure I'd try it and use it for pulling some soil samples. So anyway, so one last update, and I guess I will call it, because it is Easter. I want to go back in with the family. I've got the smoker heating up now to put a ham on there. So I've got a spring update that's going to be pretty much taking care of this whole thing here in, I don't know, I'll say a month or so. The shed, that is like an 8.5 by 8.5 or something like that. This thing's starting to fall apart, so it's going to go bye-bye. And this playset is fairly old. It's starting to fall apart. Some termites have gotten some of these legs. That is going to go bye-bye. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get a new playset that is going to move more over here, and we'll take the fire pit and move it kind of where the current shed is. We'll walk over here real quick. Alright, so I'm going to get a new shed. Instead of the 8x8, I'm going to get a 12x20. We'll go in and we'll move it over here, and it's going to provide some privacy. It'll give me a lot more room as well. So on the sill here, as you can see, it's a huge mess. I ran out of fill dirt trying to level things out, so this is very bumpy. We're going to redo this in the fall. And you can see again, it's a bunch of bad areas. Very uneven, kind of bounce around when I'm trying to mow. So we'll move this shed forward. We'll take the compost bin and put back here. I've got the bin here that just stores firewood. That'll go on the back side as well, so we can get all this cleaned up so it's not as much of an eyesore. We'll get this aerator. We'll get that into the shed. So we'll get some other things cleaned up out of the garage as well and get all this cleaned up. Yeah, I get a platform, and we'll get the compost bin and the that tote bin over there. We'll shift the shed down and the playset down, and the fire pit over here somewhere. I'm excited about that because I really need a bigger shed. I'm just running out of room as I'm buying more and more stuff for the lawn care. I've got a couple cabinets in the garage that I've been storing my chemicals in, but they're just sitting on the floor. I haven't wall mounted them because I don't have anywhere to put them. Be a good spot to put them in the shed now, so it'll kind of be out of the way, and I can keep them up away from the kids and everything. So that'd be cool. So I think that's all I've got for this week. So happy Easter, everyone, and I'll catch you in the next one.